Hey everyone, welcome to The Word on the Street Is with Michael and Gabby, where we mention it all about your favorite Bravo celebrities and the shows they star in.
Hey, friends, this is episode 90, which is really cool. I know, right? Episode 90 with a very special guest who I'm going to introduce in just a second. But we've been doing this podcast for over 2 years, over 6,000 downloads, and now a super awesome guest. We've been really lucky to have some awesome Bravo holics on. And today's guest is Danielle. You probably follow her on Instagram if you love Bravo the way we do. Her handle is Brands by Bravo. Welcome, Danielle.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me. Congrats on 90 episodes.
Thank you.
That's a huge deal. When you get to 100, you need to just do the hashtag 100th housewife. What's her name?
Yeah. And then we'll just end the podcast and you'll never hear from us again.
So you were just at BravoCon. I wanted to know kind of how your experience was there. Any do's and don'ts for people that are kind of interested in going next year? Kind of what was your favorite part?
Yeah. So I ended up having a really unique BravoCon. I only bought a 1-day general admission pass. And then my friend who came with me, her friend was there and we go to meet up with her. And she happened to be a guest of Toya from Married to Medicine. And she gave us an extra backstage pass. So we got to go backstage. So my second half of my day was really crazy because it made us able to go to all the panels. And it was really wild to be backstage. We got to eat in the green room and I felt like we should not be there. So we just tried to blend in with everyone. So the day was great. I recommend it. I know there was a lot of mixed reviews on the day. And even when we were GA, we still had a great day. Our whole goal was to go to as many panels as possible. I did not care at all about photo ops. And I think if you cared about that, you just spent most of your day probably waiting in line and probably going to the Bravo Bazaar and just hanging out. Also, I wish when we were leaving BravoCon, we happened to walk past the Manhattan Center, which I didn't even realize was on our walk back. And all of them were coming out from Watch What Happens live taping. So we got to see a bunch of them there. So almost just hanging in the city that weekend made it awesome. We ran into Captain Glenn at dinner, which was wild. We were just sitting eating and he just came in alone. And then he was talking to every table. And then he sat and got a pastrami sandwich. And then we went up to him after and he was so cute and nice. And we talked to him for 5 minutes. So just go hang at the diner near the Javits Center and you'll run into
see who you run into. Yeah.
It was crazy. It was a really small little diner. It was on probably 40th and 8th that we just picked from Google Maps, and he just happened to also pick it and come in, so that was pretty cool.
Nice. So if you have general admission, can you still get into the panels or is it harder or how does that work?
We didn't have a problem with the first 2 we went to. I think it just depends when you were able to line up. We also didn't care where we sat. That didn't matter at all to me because people I don't know if you noticed this, people left part of the way through. So as people left, we just kept moving our seats forward, also sitting all the way over to the right or the left. Everyone seemed to want to go in the middle, but we tried to go all the way over to the side and there would be empty seats towards the front. So we kind of snuck in that way. Yeah. I love the panels. I thought it was great. Did you go? Were you there?
No, neither of us were there.
Yeah, I don't think I could do 3 days. I just think it's, as much as I love Bravo, way too much content and they definitely need to fix some things, but I'm willing to give them a year or 2 chance to fix it. I kind of knew my expectations going in was that it wasn't going to be the most well organized.
Yeah.
Knowing that it was the first time they were ever doing this at Javits Center, I did not have an expectation of a Comic-Con level run thing,
I was just saying, we were talking last week and we were I think 3 days would be really overwhelming too. So I was thinking maybe of doing just 1 day VIP next year.
I think that's what I would do. I mean, I highly doubt I will ever get a backstage pass again, though. I did send her friend flowers and cookies to be there. It's crazy. So she's childhood friends with Toya and Toya brought her as a guest and she works with my friend. And we didn't know any of this. And she was so nice. And it was great. But yeah, I would definitely think I would do VIP. I think I would do the Bravo Bazaar. Not the thing where you could pay to do food and drinks and hang out with them in a smaller room. I forgot what that was called.
That would be cool because that's more of like one-on-one experience versus just like getting a photo and being like, okay, bye.
Yeah, like I think I would do that. I think I would probably go to one of the Watch What Happens Live, and probably a one-day VIP is probably, I think, the three things that I would be willing to spend the money on. It's also different though, like I'm local, so I didn't have to fly. I took like a $15 train to New York City, and I slept at my friends. So definitely not the extreme cost that definitely, you know, it was expensive. Like, even just the one day general admission was like 200, which I could not believe I was spending on something.
Right. Yeah. And so some people flew in, spent, you know, a hotel for 3 nights, flight, and then, you know, 3-day pass. So I could imagine that'd probably be like $1,500 there.
Yeah. I also, my other advice, you can bring food in. So we brought our own food. Because I just knew, I was like, it's going to be super expensive for probably terrible food. And I didn't really care about drinking. And I know there was like lines for drinks, but I didn't care about like waiting in line for that. So that saved, I think, a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. It was interesting. I went, such like a book nerd, and I've been to a thing called BookCon at Javits Center.
Oh, cool.
And that was run totally different, and I hope to see them run it more like that. That was in the upstairs part of Javits Center, which is like 10 times the size of the area that we were in. And like the part that was just organized is like, had you wait in these lines that kind of got in the way of other things. And at BookCon, you go into the separate area and it's like, yep, I want to go to this thing. And you just wait in this completely separate area that doesn't disrupt like the rest of the festival. So
yeah,
that, and I don't get why I can't pre-sign up for the panel I want to go to.
Yeah.
Like, why can't they just make it where I could just sign up and then I know I'm going, and then I don't have to wait in line, and I show up 15 minutes before and you get a seat, you know? And then it controls how many people wait in line, and it just feels like an easy fix. And then obviously you can't like sign up for things overlapping, and like maybe you leave seats for like some availability to like walk in. But
yeah,
with technology this day, I don't know. Same with the panel, the photo ops too. People waited like 2 hours to not get a photo. Crazy. And it's like, why wouldn't you just have them have to sign up or get a ticket and say, this is your time to come back to take your photo?
Yeah.
Well, hopefully they did a serious debrief after Bravo.
I hope so too.
Like how they could improve next year. Cause I mean, this is their only second year doing BravoCon altogether. First year after COVID, they did their first time 3 years ago. You said it's their first time doing it at the Javits Center. So I really hope that they are able to like knock it out of the park next year and make it more organized. Hopefully have the signups ahead. Hopefully there won't be stampedes again like there was at the Beverly Hills.
Yeah, I saw none of that, luckily. I think a lot of the issues on the first day were definitely fixed. So I probably would have maybe picked Friday or Sunday next year if I was to pick a one day to hopefully have it like a little. But yeah, they went from like 5,000 people the first year, and it was in like 3 locations, to like 25,000.
Wow.
And I bet you, who even knows if the people who worked on it in 2019 even still work there 3 years later. So
yeah, because they missed 2 years.
Yeah, you know, I hope they hire. I don't know if they internally did it, but to me, I feel like they like Comic-Con is run not by Marvel. Like there's an entire
they're
team
not
of people, and that is all they do. So to put a convention on is quite a feat. So I'm impressed that they were able to do this, but I hope they like literally like hire people, and this is your job for the next year to plan this if you're gonna like grow it and still have it. And it should be cheaper, in my opinion. I thought it was way too much money.
Yeah, especially with how many more people are there, you'd think they'd lower the price a little.
Someone did the math, and I've seen it. I'm sure, you know, it costs so much money. I think the Bravo celebrities, they had to pay them to come. They probably had to pay for their hotels, their flights. So,
and then for the venue itself, I'm sure it was expensive. They had probably over 100 Bravo celebrities there. So
yeah, no, we will see. They get one more time out of me.
Yeah. I think I would do Friday, because it's like the first day, everyone's like in a good mood, maybe a little less people.
So funny.
So definitely if you had to fly somewhere and then like stay alone too, that would be, you know.
Yeah, that'd be a lot.
Crazy. But yeah, overall, I loved it. I feel blessed every day that I went to the Salt Lake City panel, and that was The most
Yeah.
insane thing I've ever witnessed. And also all of the panels I went to, I saved on my Instagram. So they're all in my stories if anyone wants to watch them. The Salt Lake City was, I don't have words. I don't have words for how insane it was. There was like this girl in front of me, I'll never forget, was like, yes, Heather, get her. Like it was like a WWE match, the way the crowd was like into this fighting that was happening.
Amazing. God, I wish I could have been there for it too.
It was wild. That was, like we left and we're like, I'm so glad, because it was that or Atlanta, I think. And like, I love Atlanta, but I just really wanted to go to Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
And
I would have picked Salt Lake. Yeah.
We made the right choice that day. I was very, 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 very happy. We were in like the Bravo Palooza thing and we realized that it was about to start. And so we like sprinted over there. So I'm glad that we did that.
Sprinted over there like you were in a Sprinter van?
Sprinter van, yes. They needed a Sprinter van there. They did not have one. And
then missed photo op.
I know.
They great, like a fake Sprinter van that you could like take a photo.
Yeah.
They had a lot of photo ops again too, but like I didn't care about them. I didn't wait in line for a single one of them. Like it just didn't, like they had cool ones and you could wait, but that was just like not where my priorities were. I was like, I wanted, and really if you just hang out, they're just like walking around all the time. Even at the end of the day, Cherie was in her booth. The whole cast of Family Karma was at theirs. Like waiting till the end of the day they stayed till 7 o'clock. Actually, you know who's the best? Gina's boyfriend, Travis. Aww. He was there at 9:30 in the morning when we got there, and he was still at that Caragala booth at 7 p.m. when we left.
Wow.
I was like, wow, boyfriend. And I bet he stood out there for 3 days too.
Dang.
I know. Boyfriend of the year for that.
So sweet. I wonder if they're going to get engaged soon.
I don't know. I don't think so. Not with them both being recently divorced. And like, I think for that, maybe engaged, but
kids
like,
and stuff. Yeah.
And I don't think married though. Like legally, I could see them like fake getting married or something for the show.
Right.
But legally, I don't know. I don't know if I see that. I think wasn't there rumors that he like owed a lot of like child support money or something like that.
That's a common rumor.
Yeah.
Housewife husband.
But on that note, Danielle, we would love to hear your Bravo palette as a first-time guest. If you could start with your 5 favorite Real Housewives of all time, they can be past or present.
Okay. In no particular order. And if you ask me tomorrow, this could probably change because I change my mind a lot. I would probably say Robin, Dixon, Sonia. I love Deandra from Dallas so much. And she does not get enough credit for being a fantastic housewife. Probably Kyle. And the last one would probably be between Candy and Tamara, I'd say, even though that's 6, but I love them.
Okay.
That's okay.
We'll take 6. We're not big on rules around here anyway, but you have a very like varied list. Deandra is not one we hear often. And I agree with you. She is kind of an underrated housewife. There were times I didn't love her, but overall she just really like grew on me as a housewife. So
I'd watch a show of Deandra and her mom. Like why the two of them do not have a spinoff, please. Like I just find she's one of those I find fascinating. And in all of her like interviews, she just drops little nuggets where you're like, wait, you worked for Bush? Wait, you were engaged 17 times? Like I want to know everything.
Again, her family backstory and background is really interesting on top of all the other reasons you just said.
Agree.
Yeah. If they do the Dallas reboot, I think they'd base it off of her. Like they'd do it around her.
They should, her and Tiffany, who are still friends and hang out.
Yeah.
Which is very nice. I see them on Instagram a lot.
Yeah, they are still, and they always actually were like genuine friends too.
Mm-hmm.
And Mama D really likes Tiffany too.
Yeah. In COVID, I watched all of Dallas because that was just like not on my list. So I did binge it.
Yeah.
I didn't hate it. I thought it was fine.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. Yeah. Michael and I kind of like both binged a lot of the same Bravo shows for the first time during COVID. So we both watched Southern Charm.
Shaz.
Oh my God. I love Shaz.
Married to Medicine, and there was something else, but Summer House.
Yeah, Summer House, Real Housewives of Dallas for me on top of all of those. And then Michael had already seen it, but I watched Vanderpump Rules for the first time during COVID too.
I am so jealous. You got to experience that for the first time. Wow, what a gift. I always think of that. I'm so jealous. I would say Dallas, and I watched all of Below Deck, including Below Deck,
Oh yeah, that too.
regular Below Deck Med, and Below Deck Sailing. Yeah, I watched like 16 seasons of Below Deck.
Yeah,
I think Gabby did that too with
I
Below
did.
Deck.
I was gonna say, how did I forget Below Deck? I watched an ungodly amount of Below Deck during the pandemic.
Yeah, I went back and forth though. Like I'd watch a regular and then I'd watch Med, and so like I tried to rotate to not get sick of it.
I would do that too. Like I'd watch maybe like 2 or 3 seasons of Shaw's and be like, God, I'm sick of Shaw's, and then like Vanderpump, and then the only show though that in binging I never once got sick of, and I still not sick of when I did a rewatch of it, is Southern Charm.
I love Southern Charm so much. What did you think of MJ's wedding? Because I still think it's the best wedding I've ever seen on TV on Shaw's. I'll never forget it.
What do you mean by best though?
The most entertaining wedding.
Okay,
your tits look great. I mean, how could you ever forget Tommy saying that to her walking down the aisle, waving at everyone, Mike's commentary of like, is this the first wedding she's ever been to? It's just her mother getting on her about her makeup. It's the most perfect TV wedding I've ever seen, in my opinion.
I agree with you. It was top-notch entertainment wise, but I thought if you were asking like aesthetically, did it
look like organized? Yeah.
She showed up like 2 hours late. She was like swimming in the pool before the wedding. No. Not like, oh, I felt the most love between them. Although they're still very married and they have a beautiful kid, and I like her and Tommy. He's from Long Island. It's probably why.
They met on Tinder, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
And there's rumors that the 3 of them, like Gigi, MJ, and Rezo, are like working on a show, but I don't know.
I really hope so. They really highlighted them at BravoCon, which felt like for a show that is no longer on, that was interesting. And I really hope that they continue to do something because I love them.
Yeah, because I went back and I've been watching the BravoCon Watch What Happens lives, and they've been in like almost all of them. So
our next thing I wanted to ask Danielle about, her next 5 Real Housewives on her list, her 5 least favorite Real Housewives, can be past or present.
Oh my gosh, this is a hard one. Okay, Ziggy Flicker. The 100th housewife that I can't remember her name.
Peggy.
Peggy. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I hated Peggy so much. Okay. Not anymore, but I used to really hate Kenya, but I have like totally changed in the last 2 years since Ultimate Girls Trip. I've completely changed. So no longer, but Kenya was on that list. People are really pumped Charisse is back on Potomac, but I don't hate her, but why? What does she bring?
Yeah, I don't really care either way for her.
Oh, and I know the other one from Dallas. I can't believe so much Dallas I'm talking about.
Leanne.
Cameron. No. I guess Leanne, but Leanne was at least entertaining. Yeah. I despised Cameron.
Same.
Yeah. Hate. Like she was a top one that I did not like.
A lot of people loved her too.
Oh, a lot of people still love her. Somebody tweeted her name and spelled it with 3 Ks the other day on Twitter.
That's great. Yeah.
No, she was a horror. I thought she was just.
Oh, and that
husband, just her whole. I didn't get her shtick at all. I didn't think she was funny.
Agreed.
Dog food, the pink dog food, just everything. I just not
Sparkle Dog.
Oh, and Gretchen. I would say Gretchen Rossi also. Not a fan. Drove me nuts.
Oh, I loved Gretchen on OC. I hate her currently.
Same.
Maybe I think more of her now, and I kind of forget what she was like on the show.
Yeah, she didn't talk about politics at all on when she was on OC, thankfully. But now she's like total anti-vaxxer and like
Facetunes her daughter and her Instagram pictures.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah.
Very wild.
It sucks when
I think that was 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or 6, but that's okay.
It's fine. I'm not sticking to the rules, clearly.
And who is your favorite Real Housewives husband, if you can choose one?
There are so many. Someone posted this the other day, and I did remember how much I loved him, was Chris Larita from Jersey, Jacqueline's husband. I loved him. I just he was just great. He's all super cute, but it would
kind of a DILF.
It would probably be Evan from Jersey.
Yeah.
If we're talking current cast members, Evan I saw him at BravoCon and
He looks good.
Oh, he looked good. He was so cute. He was
Yeah.
just like sitting watching a sports game on his phone and like cheering. And he is just tall and hot. And you know who is the opposite? Is Joe Gorga. He is so short. I cannot believe how short he is. He is shorter than Todd, Candy's husband.
Dang.
Like I'm 5'6" and I think he's shorter than me. I was very
Dang.
shocked by it. And he had
I'm
like
5'6" too, so
but it was more just like, I don't know how tall Melissa is because he just doesn't give off those vibes. And then to see him next to Candy's husband, I was like, what? Like he must wear heels or something, but that like he even had like work boots on. So I think it even added like an inch or two. And I just was very surprised. He's not as like beefy as I thought he would be.
Mm-hmm. He's probably like 5'4" or something.
He might be. No, I have no problem with short kings. Absolutely not. It just was more
right?
surprising because I think of Todd as very short.
Yeah.
And then to see him be shorter than Todd was like,
Dang.
oh, I know. And I'm like, how do I not notice this more with Melissa? She wears heels. So
And I always think Melissa's like kind of tall, but I don't know.
Same.
maybe she's not. I didn't.
Yeah.
She might just wear really tall. I don't know. I don't know how tall she is.
Wait, so you said you saw Joe Gorga. Did you see Melissa?
Did I see Melissa? Oh my gosh. Yes. Okay. So when we were backstage, we were trying like so hard to just like blend in and like not be noticed and get kicked out because I was super scared. So there was one moment, it was before the Jersey panel, and to my right was Melissa. And then there was like a hallway, and walking down the hallway was Teresa. And I noticed this and I'm like, oh my God, am I going to watch them walk past each other? And I like grab my friend's hand, but like, don't say anything. Teresa literally stops maybe 6 feet from Melissa with her like team around her and then turned and went the other way. And I was like, oh my God, if I would have seen them have to walk past each other, I would have lost my mind. So I did see Melissa. I forgot about that. Yes. But I don't remember noticing her height. She probably had heels on.
Say they kept them so separate that whole weekend. Yeah.
We almost witnessed a crossing and sadly we did not.
Was Melissa super beautiful in person?
Yes. Everyone was.
Oh,
like I could not, when you see them in person, it just is like, wow, this is why you're on TV. Like you're prettier than most people I see in normal life.
Wow. We just met Vicky in Vegas, and she was better looking like when you're face to face with her than in a picture.
Yes, I saw Vicky at I went to the Ultimate Girls Trip premiere, and I could not believe how beautiful she was in person.
Yeah.
You know who else too? Brandy. Not that I expected Brandy not to be, but she looks very plastic surgery on camera, and she did not look that way in person. She was stunning.
Interesting.
And I know they all have like makeup and hair and all of that, but it didn't even feel like they were wearing a ton of makeup.
Yeah.
Wow. Melissa, I think, is one of the most beautiful people on Bravo.
I agree. I think also Giselle is.
Oh
actually, I think Potomac is the prettiest.
Yeah,
cast.
Giselle and Candace and Ashley.
Monique.
Yeah. And Robin, like
Robin, even Karen, like all of them.
Not even Karen.
Not even Karen. I don't even mean it like a bad way. I just mean
Wendy.
Wendy. Yeah, they're all beautiful.
Potomac, I think you're right, is overall probably the most stunning cast.
Well, because they're not super plasticky looking, you know, which is one of the things. So I have a rewatching podcast, Real Housewives of Rewatch, and we're rewatching New York. And I think one of my favorite things about New York is just how they never become plastic looking. Yeah. But that's so true of New Yorkers and East Coasters. We don't do that same vibe.
It's very West Coast.
Yeah. It's very OC Beverly Hills.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like a stereotype to say it's very Hollywood to get plastic surgery. Like 90210, like there was a show called Dr. 90210. Like there's a reason that, you know, people associate plastic surgery with Beverly Hills and Hollywood. Yeah, it's just much more the norm. Like you would stand out if you look that way. Like I don't know if you watched Selling Sunset, the OC version. Not yet.
Not that one.
It was really good, but one of the guy's moms, which I'm like, how have you not been cast on Housewives? Like I could not believe the plastic surgery this woman had. And it's just like, nope, that's probably pretty standard in the OC to look this way. You should watch Selling Sunset OC though. It was really good.
I heard it was good and lots of drama.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed the first season and I'm ready for season 2.
Zachary Reality was saying like he really wants the second season to come out.
Yeah, well, especially because one of the well, I don't want to spoil it for you, but something happens in current times that's like,
Is it is it Brittany Snow?
yeah.
Yeah.
I think I saw something about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good.
Wait, her and her husband getting divorced, or is it like something else since then?
No, that they're getting divorced, but like that didn't come out until the show came out. And then you're kind of like, yeah, this makes sense when you like watch the show.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. That's like whenever people rewatch the first season of Beverly Hills and you see the dynamic between Camille and Kelsey. It's like, well, duh, this didn't work out.
Yeah. You mean your husband was in New York and you never went to see him and he didn't come to see you a single time?
Yeah. It's so different then too, because now with social media, it's like, oh, we already know they're broken up before the season even airs. Like then it was kind of more of like a mystery.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that's what was crazy selling. It's not that they didn't say that they were splitting up until after the season came out. So you watched it the whole time and you're like, I guess I believe in this love. And then like 3 weeks later, the news broke and you're like, nope. Oh, I guess I don't.
So now we're going to round out Danielle's Bravo palette before we move on to some quick Bravo news. But we wanted to know what your favorite Bravo show is that's a non-Real Housewives show.
So I watch all of them, which is like super embarrassing. So it's really hard to pick. Like I watched, and since the beginning, so I have to go with Vanderpump Rules because I watched that. I would like from episode 1, season 1, when they did the cut through from Beverly Hills into Vanderpump. Like I remember where I was in my first apartment in Astoria, Queens. And I was like, what is this show? And also because I was the same age as them when the show started. Like I think Stassi and I are the same age. So I always felt as like I've grown with them. Like the year Katie and Tom got engaged was the same year I got engaged. So it's like I felt a part of their life has been a part of mine. And that is why I have to give them my crown. And as you told me earlier before we started recording that you just watched it for the first time. And like, I just can't imagine, like, did you have any spoilers?
Yeah, I knew who like Stassi was. I knew Sheena and Shay weren't going to stay together.
Like even season 1 of like Jack spending the whole season saying he didn't cheat on Stassi, and then it came out in the last episode that he did. Like,
yeah, I didn't know about any of that until I
watching that live. I don't know why I'll never forget that because it was like, what is this show? This is season 1. Season 1's only like 8 episodes.
Yeah. That was actually, I got into that before like some other Housewives shows. Like that was one of the first Bravo shows I really liked.
No, I agree. I have always watched Beverly Hills and Jersey from like right from the beginning. Mm-hmm. And then OC, like I watched when I was in college, but not like every single episode. And then early Atlanta, I watched like a lot of and then fell off for a little. And then, but yeah, Vanderpump, I don't think I've ever missed a single episode of that show when it's aired.
Yeah.
Some Bravo news we wanted to talk about. First bit is Beverly Hills related. So during the reunion, Andy was talking to Erica about throwing Garcelle's book in the trash can. And, it came out that it actually was Rinna who threw Garcelle's book away. And it just turned into a lot of like laughing about Rinna's lack of recycling and about like the whole situation, but not actually addressing Garcelle's feelings. So she was like sitting there with tears in her eyes, and Andy apologized for that, for being like kind of insensitive towards her feelings and not addressing like how badly that made Garcelle feel, seeing her book in a garbage can and like everybody laughing about it.
Yeah, I'm glad he apologized. I don't know how in the moment he didn't realize that was like the wrong thing to do. Like, how did he not look at Garcelle and be like, oh, she's crying. Like, this is not good.
I was so focused on the fact that it wasn't Erica that threw it away that I kind of missed that too. But going back and watching it, I noticed it more.
Yeah, I don't think Andy did it on purpose. I think he really was caught up in the moment. And I think it's really cool of him to admit like, yeah, I messed up and I'm really sorry, Garcelle. So like kudos for him to like be able to like say, I'm sorry.
He owned it.
Yeah. Yes. He did.
I also was in shock over the reveal that it was Rinna's trash can. And to me, it just shows how psychotically ride or die they are for each other in a sense of like, at no point any of them saying anything about it.
I was saying like on our last episode that it kind of just shows that like Erica doesn't give in to like social media the way that Rinna does either. Like she couldn't give two shits if the fans thought it was her or not. Like whereas Rinna feeds into that stuff. So I have to give Erica a little bit of props there.
Agree. Yeah. I shouldn't say psychotic. Well, they are a little
Well, no, I agree. They are
crazy.
Yeah.
But I also hate on the show when people get like mad that they want to like defend their friend or anything like that.
Yeah.
But they shouldn't be so ride or die where they can't call each other out for being wrong. And that's where I'll say that they go wrong with it.
Yeah, they were very like evil duo at that party where Rinna was in all blue and like they were like bouncing off each other with like each statement that the other would make.
Mm-hmm. That was funny.
It was giving Pain and Panic from Hercules vibes.
Yeah, they gas each other up. Like and they're like, yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, exactly what you said. And then they like build off of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, even though it's like kind of annoying for the other women to experience, I'm sure, like as someone at home watching it, it's very entertaining.
It definitely can be. But yeah, I was glad he apologized. I thought that was the right move.
Mm-hmm.
He owned it, which we're thankful for. And speaking of someone not owning it, we recently learned that Kim Zolciak's home is going into foreclosure. Apparently, she has not been making payments on her home ever since Tardy for the Party was canceled.
She's tardy for the mortgage payment. But I'm not really surprised because she's been doing weird stuff on Instagram, like selling these like weird like spiritual classes and like selling things in her closet and like I don't know. It seems like she's just
Someone posted a clip of the last reunion she was at saying like Cashmere Cosmetics made like $15 million, and I just no part of me believes that she has a $15 million makeup company. There's just no way. There's no way.
I mean, where can you even buy their cosmetics anyway? I never see anybody like talking about them, using them, reviewing them.
I guess online. Yeah. I think I actually bought the lip glosses once.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I think they were okay. I think I bought them like 2 years ago in a like late night buy. They were on sale. I did also buy a Cut Fitness shirt when Tamara closed the gym. I'm really happy. Yeah, I'm really glad I bought that like 70% off Cut Fitness shirt.
I can't believe her gym closed. It must have gotten really hit hard by COVID.
I think so. But look, it was open for like 10 years and I count that as a success for a business for sure. And COVID, I'm sure absolutely decimated it.
I guess Groupon wasn't selling it.
No. But yeah, I'm not shocked her house. Maybe I am a little shocked it went into foreclosure. I'm actually more shocked she owned her house. I thought she would like always rented.
I'm just shocked that like her and Croy can't seem to figure out like some other way to like bring in more income to keep their home.
Yeah. Because after Tardy for the Party was canceled, like they didn't really have a job. Like he wasn't playing football anymore. Or that was kind of like their whole life.
Yeah. How many seasons was that show on for?
Income to keep their home.
Yeah. Because after Tardy for the Party was canceled, like they didn't really have a job. Like he wasn't playing football anymore. Or that was kind of like their whole life.
Yeah. How many seasons was that show on for?
Like 8 or 9 somehow.
That's insane. It really hung on for dear life there.
And they must have.
The last season was so bad too.
Who did Brielle have to blow at Bravo to keep the show on?
Oh my God.
Right? Or is that what she tweeted once about the John Legend tickets?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just want to make sure I had the right daughter.
Yeah, no, definitely Brielle.
Oh my God. She's crazy.
8 seasons.
And apparently her daughter Ariana just turned 21. And on the cake, they put her mugshot from her getting a DUI when she was 20.
Oh my God. They're crazy, the Biermans. But I do have to say Kim and Croy's love story is like one of my top favorite ones. The fact that we got to see them meet on camera. I always just love that. And that she just thought he was so hot. Now look, they're married with like numerous kids. You know, like I love that.
Yeah.
Remember when she's like, I just think you have such an incredible ass.
You have a good ass. She was not wrong.
I actually think Croy is one of the hottest housewife husbands. Boring personality, but like really hot.
Yeah. I always overlook him.
Me too. I haven't thought about that, but I agree.
It's because he's so bland. People forget he's even a housewife husband.
Yeah.
I'm also always amazed by Kim's age because I used to think she was so much older than she is.
The fact that like I'm the age she was when she started as a housewife blows my mind.
Yeah. Or do you know what? Sorry, this is so off topic, but I just happened to be watching it today. The Kardashians, Khloe was saying she was 23 when they did Khloe and Kourtney Take Miami, and that really just blew my mind.
I saw that
Dang.
too. I did not realize she was that young when that.
No, in my head they've like been 30 forever. Like that was shocking to me.
Like I watched it live on E, like when
Yeah,
that
me too.
on, so
yeah, I've loved them I have a lot of issues with them, but I can't stop loving them. I just don't follow them on social media. That's like, I can't see that, but I still like their show.
Yeah, I haven't started the Kardashians yet, but I liked keeping up with for a really long time.
Yeah, and I actually have been watching a little of the D'Amelio show on Hulu. It's actually pretty good, and I can't believe I kind of like them. I thought I would hate them, but I don't.
Cool.
Yeah, I feel like I would hate them too.
No, they're actually like quite sweet, and I kind of feel not bad for them, but they are just so obsessed with their personal and how like people perceive them and bullying, and they just it's like they're too young, like they need thicker skin, and it just really affects their mental health. And I wish someone would just be like, get offline for a little.
Yeah,
but no, this pretty interesting. I'm shocked I like it.
Interesting.
Well, on that note, should we move on to Real Housewives of Potomac?
Yes.
Yeah, let's do it.
This episode of Potomac is episode 3, and it's called Stand in Your Truth.
So before we get into the episode, I was going to ask who was everyone's favorite tagline? Those just came out today.
I think I liked Candace's best.
Me too. Yeah.
And probably Karen's second because it's just so ridiculous.
Yeah, Candace's was like, my vocals are clean, but I'll read you to filth or something. I love that.
I thought they were all pretty good though.
Yeah, there was. Yeah. I didn't dislike any of them. As I was like writing them all out, I was like, wait, I'm putting these all as my favorites. So I was like, I did like all of them. I'm just going to say that. But I think my very favorites were Giselle's with I'm pretty, petty, and always sitting on ready. And Wendy, I'm a Nigerian queen with no time for me. And I love both of those. And then I also agree with you both that Candace's was really good. Candace's are always like really intense. Like, and I own the library. Like, I love it.
I feel like I have to admit, I don't care about taglines at all. And I feel like people get obsessed with them. And I just like, I don't know. I don't ever like think about them. Like when people are like, oh my God, there's no Potomac ones. I didn't even notice.
You know, I didn't really notice either, but I like to like dissect them. And then as the season goes on, if I'm like watching it on Peacock, I skip them. But I like to just I like to rate them. And then I'm good.
At this point, I'm used to the first episode not having taglines because it used to be like the first episode had it. And as now it's gone on, the first episode's just like too dramatic to be able to have taglines. And so I was surprised that like going on to a third episode, we still had no taglines. That was surprising to me.
Yeah.
But I'm also like a diehard for the taglines. Like I will die on the hill that LVP's line of life isn't all diamonds and rosé, but it should be, is the greatest housewives tagline of all times. Like I bought a shirt that says it.
I do like that.
It's so good. Like that one. Like when we went to Vanderpump Dogs, I bought a shirt that says it. Like it is the freaking best. And I like Michael. I love dissecting them. And I also love like hating on really bad ones. Like Teresa and Kyle, I think are two of the housewives that are chronically like terrible at their taglines.
My all-time favorite is so random. It's Kristen Takeman's. It's what is it like?
But I'm pretty.
I may not be the smartest tool in the shed, but at least I'm pretty. I will never get over that they did that. That just was my absolute favorite. So I do like them. I don't dislike them. But I will pay more attention now. You have convinced me.
Yeah, they're fun. And I mean, even Giselle's tagline is the inspiration for the name of this podcast.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're obsessed. And before also we get into the rest of the episode, who is your favorite Potomac housewife, Danielle?
Well, I said Robin is on my all-time favorite.
Right. So it's Robin. Okay. Cool.
But I actually would like to say for Potomac on the show, because like I love Robin as a person, but maybe not necessarily like always on the well, no, I always like her on the show, but I know people think she's boring, but I have never thought she's boring. I'd probably say Ashley.
Okay.
I love Ashley so much. I just want only good things. I hope she hooked up with Luke, and I just love her. I don't know why.
Oh, that's who's my favorite, my least favorite Housewives tagline. What was Ashley? Like, she's so much fun. I love her. She's amazing. And her tagline I thought was super boring.
Yeah, I don't even
didn't
remember
like
what it
her
was
that
actually.
much.
You may think you know my story, but there's always a plot twist. Like, yeah, duh, everyone's story has a plot twist. That's why it's a story. I mean, come on.
I wish they put something of like Corona in her tagline.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Like, I've ditched Michael Darby, but you'll still see me with the Corona in my hand. Like,
That would have been so much better.
Although the producers do pick the tagline, so they don't have that much control, I don't think.
Or I just thought of one like they say COVID's over, but I still have my Corona, which is ridiculous, and they would never
That'd be
do that.
good. Yeah, they would never do that, but I love that.
that would have been so fucking iconic. That would have been her best one ever.
Yeah. But I don't know. I just love Ashley. I just think she can only be 100% authentically herself. And that is why I love her on the show.
She doesn't care about fame the way the other housewives do. Like, she's not promoting a business. Like, she's literally doing this because she thinks it's fun. I mean, like, it's very interesting to see a housewife with her like viewpoint on life, because I don't think there's anybody like Ashley on any other franchise that we've ever seen, not just currently, but just like period.
The only other close one is, I feel like, Jackie on New Jersey. She doesn't promote anything. She doesn't like push a product. True. She just like does it for what, I don't know why she does it. And I don't find her to be thirsty. She just like lives her life with her kids when they're not, I don't hear her like headlines of Jackie said this and that. She'd maybe be the
Yeah, that's true.
As I was saying that, I was like, Jackie doesn't push anything either. Yeah, I can't figure out Jackie's reasoning for wanting to be on the show either.
She's supposedly like the richest of anyone. So.
And she said in Not All Diamonds and Rosé that she was the first housewife ever to make themselves seem less rich than they are.
Maybe it's like to spread about her like ED and like awareness of that. That's what I think is like her motivation.
Yeah, that's been her big thing.
Which is fine. Like, oh my God, if that's what you want to use this platform for, like, amazing.
That's great.
Like,
yeah.
Actually good intentions. It's crazy.
Yeah.
For one. Well, what I'll say about Robin is like, usually I feel like she's a Giselle follower, and I'm kind of liking her more because I feel like she's actually standing up to Giselle. Like, no, I don't agree. Like, your delivery's wrong. Like, you're exaggerating this. Like, she's actually kind of standing up to Robin more so far this season.
Get on the Robin train.
Sorry.
I feel like people are getting on the Robin train, and I am so happy for. I just find her funny. What are your thoughts on the whole Giselle and Chris thing?
Unpopular opinion, my favorite Potomac housewife is Candace. So
not unpopular. She has grown vastly, and anyone who doesn't see that is just choosing to still hate her. It's kind of like at Kenya. Like, you have to admit when they get better.
I love a messy housewife, so I've always really liked her, but she's grown. I think her confessionals are hilarious. Like, I'm always laughing, like, especially on this episode, like, not today, neck.
That was amazing.
Ankles, like, I love that. But yeah, she has grown. Like, even last week with Ashley, she's like, I'm going to choose to believe that like Ashley had good intentions here. And like, we're gonna put like our best foot forward with this relationship. So like, I do think that she has grown a lot. And Giselle, she's playing her role with stirring the pot, but I think she's obviously really reaching here. So
I agree.
My thing with Giselle is she can feel however she wants to feel if she was uncomfortable. It's that she chose to wait 5 or 6 months and do it on camera. That's my whole problem with the whole thing.
Well, and then they played back to the spring kickoff party when they were like hugging each other, and she had no problem like seeing him then. And then also like all the flashbacks of him talking about his penis. Like, I don't know. I think that's kind of worse.
She might have felt like uncomfortable in the moment, and that's perfectly fine if she felt that way, but she should have called the next day or reached out to him or something. And it just felt so. Candace knew immediately. She's like, you waited 6 months to say this and choose till we are on camera, and that is wrong in this day and age to make such a statement of like, I think she felt uncomfortable. I don't think Chris did anything to make her feel uncomfortable. I think just Giselle did. And sometimes that happens, but it's the waiting to do it on camera that I have the biggest problem with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, agreed.
Because also I feel like if that DM with Ashley didn't happen, would she have brought it up? Or was she like, ooh, here's something to pile on?
Yeah, I agree. I think she piled on for sure.
Yeah, like as much as I love Ashley, she does kind of have a way of doing that. She's not good at diffusing a situation. She usually actively pours gasoline on it.
Which is why I love her.
She is messy as well.
Yes, yes. And in defense of Candace, I have always liked her. It's when she hits below the belt on people's looks that is my biggest problem with her.
Yeah, I get that.
That's when I'm like, oh, Candace, just no, you didn't have like the neck and the ankles, whatever. But like,
yeah,
that was funny. And that wasn't like, she just said, okay, neck. Like she didn't say you have a fat neck or a gross neck. But like she has said a lot of really mean things about women and their looks. And that part I have never liked about her. But she's not doing it as much. So I see the growth.
Yeah, she's growing.
She was super young when she got cast, right?
Yeah. Her and Ashley are like two of the youngest housewives ever to be cast on the show. Like they both were in their 20s when they got cast. Like there's not many housewives we've seen who get cast in their 20s.
Yeah. So I don't hate Candace. You will not find that in me.
Especially unique because she's a very young housewife that also has a young husband. We don't usually see.
True.
Yeah, like Ashley and Michael.
Yeah. Like Ashley, unfortunately, is more of like, we see that pretty often with a young housewife who's got an old ass husband. But like Chris is not that much older than Candace. At least he doesn't look it. And he doesn't act like he's that old either.
Yeah, maybe like 5 years or something.
Yeah.
Candace had one of the prettiest weddings ever.
Yeah, she did.
My opinion.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It did not get enough credit for being one of the best like housewives weddings.
It kind of was under the radar a little bit. I thought it was a very underrated wedding. And unfortunately, I think it's because a lot of people don't like Candace. They didn't make as big of a deal about her wedding, but I agree with you. Like the photos were like really beautiful. And like when they were planning the wedding, and I was like, wow, like DC looks like a lovely place to have a wedding, especially like where they're doing it.
Was it her first season she got married?
No, I think her second.
Like first, maybe second. Yeah. It was one of her first though.
She had just gotten engaged like her first season. And then season 2 was like her second season was like all the wedding planning and the actual wedding.
Mm-hmm. Some of the other drama that we're dealing with this season is like this whole Mia health scandal. What did you guys think about like Wendy's hot mic moment, like her getting exposed?
It was great. And then I'm pretty sure on Twitter that she like owned it and was like, yep, I did say it, which she was truthful. She just didn't say it to Mia's face, which is what her argument was.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was great. I love a hot mic moment. And I love that the producers left that in.
Oh yeah, they're so shady.
They're so shady.
Though.
They're breaking the fourth wall more and more now. Like before it used to be like a total faux pas. Now it's like, let's give the fans a little bit of it. You know, it's like we almost expect it a little bit at this point. Like producers asking questions, that used to be unheard of. Like we used to never see that in a confessional.
Mm-hmm. I like it. I feel like it happens a lot on Potomac too.
Yeah, I'm not complaining about it at all. If anything, we're getting more like truthful answers. Like Ashley was like getting grilled by whoever the producer was behind the camera when they're like, you're buying a home with Michael and he's already hiding things from you. Like, how do you feel about that?
I was hoping we would see like her more detached from him than we are. So
we're barely, I mean, if you're buying a home with someone, you can say you're detaching all you want. She is not detaching from him. She is gluing herself to him more than she already is having 2 children with him.
She got married so young. And I just don't think she ever learned how to be independent. And I think Housewives is like a way for her to be independent. And I don't know if she realizes like, take that and run. And like, why don't you have a business? Like promote the hell out of something.
In like she wants to be independent from Michael, but she wants to keep living the same lifestyle. And I don't think she makes the same type of money.
No, definitely not.
Lives that Michael does. So that's why she's saying like, I want to buy a home, but I can't afford it. So it's like, that's why Michael's helping me. She's not, as much as like, I love Ashley, I don't think she's willing to like lower her lifestyle a little bit in order to separate herself from Michael. I think she'd be willing to like stay on to him in just some capacity in order to like keep the same paycheck and life that she's living.
Isn't she also going to get like a fuck ton of money though from the prenup, because didn't it go past a certain amount of time? And if he cheated was like in it. So I feel like when they get divorced, she should be getting some
Hopefully.
decent money. Because
She
I think
needs
the
it.
prenup became in like null and void once they were married for more than 5 years or something. I just remember it being filmed revising the prenup. I just don't remember what it was.
I don't remember the specific details either.
Oh, and you said the Mia stuff. I don't even know what to think of that. The cancer.
Yeah,
stuff.
I don't either.
It's a little confusing because I don't remember what the Instagram post said. So it's a little hard to follow, I feel like.
Last season, I just got like liar vibes from Mia. So
I thought she was definitely lying when she said the Chris thing too, when she was out with Robin.
yeah,
That was absolutely made up.
Yeah. And the producers having like, I like how they were totally calling her out and showing Chris not looking at her.
I think she's a pathological liar.
I agree.
I don't like housewives that just like make up silly things for no reason. Like,
It's like minor things too. It's not even like ever anything super, well, maybe if it's cancer, but
well, then she's pulling a full on Brooks on us.
yeah.
I keep thinking of Brooks with this whole cancer thing. And I'm like, no, I cannot watch a season of like a fake cancer thing.
That was draining.
That's what made me dislike Vicky for so long.
I still don't really know if I like Vicky. So. I think she's an outstanding housewife.
She was nice. So
yeah. After meeting her, I'm not going to say anything mean about her because I was like so happy with how nice she was. I thought she was going to be really rude. She was like more than happy to take a picture with us. She like quoted a line from Ultimate Girls Trip. Like she definitely like made our night.
Yeah, she was super friendly.
All right. But what do you think then of all these people coming out with stories of her being like other housewives, of her being horrible to them?
That's so crazy to me how she's a bitch to other housewives, but nice to fans. That blows my mind.
I think she's bitter, honestly, that she's not on the show anymore. And so these new young people are on, and I think she's kind of threatened.
Yeah, I think she's like Kelly Ben-Simone. I'm here and you're here type of just like thinking because she's the OG and she is the top and they are below her.
Yeah. And she's also always saying like, oh, you wouldn't be here if it weren't for me. And so
that's what my great grandmother used to say. That was the family line. If it wasn't for me, none of you would be here. That's what she would say, which is true genetically. Yeah.
More true than Vicky. So.
Yes.
So now we're going to leave Potomac and head over to our Beverly Hills ladies, where we're going to talk about part 3 of the Beverly Hills reunion, which was unfortunately kind of like underwhelming.
Agree.
The whole season, it kind of was the on brand. Like when that trailer came out, I was like, oh my God, the season's going to be pretty good. All this like Aspen drama. And then we got to Aspen and I'm like, okay, this was really overhyped. And then we got to the reunion and it was the same. So overall kind of disappointed with this season. And also just all the like off camera, like social media drama was really draining as well.
I agree. I had a really hard time. I didn't even like try to keep up with it. I'm also currently blocked by Lisa Rinna. On both my private and my Brands by Bravo and my private Instagram.
Yeah,
and I think she blocked my TikTok too. But somehow I'm not blocked by Lisa Rinna's beauty.
Yeah, same.
Like, no, I won't be buying your products.
I think when she blocked, she hit like all related accounts. So then it blocked our personals. Yeah.
Yeah. She has us blocked on our personal accounts and then our podcast account. She didn't block us on Rinna Beauty. And like right when she blocked us, I like messaged Rinna Beauty and I was like, why were we blocked? I don't understand. We've never done anything to Lisa Rinna, but Michael already knows this. And I'm sure he's like beyond sick of hearing it. But ever since Rinna blocked us, I like did a huge 180 on her and I don't like her all anymore.
Yeah, I felt the same way. I was like, I've literally have done nothing. I never like said anything bad or tagged her in anything or commented anything nasty. Like I don't do that. So I was like, why did I get blocked? I'm also blocked by Jen Shaw, which I don't know why.
What?
That's random.
I know. But then I messaged her on my private and I was like, can you unblock me? And she wrote me back with them. She never did. I was like, why did you block me? And then for some reason, the only other one is Sierra.
Weird.
I'm like so nice on my Instagram. Like I try really hard to not
I've never seen like anything mean on your Instagram.
No, because like I know they're real people. So I'm like, why did you block me?
I still like Rinna, but Aspen stuff has been a lot. Like, I think for me, it's the social media stuff. I wish that she would stop posting so much on her stories. And like, I mean, I believe that Kathy had a meltdown. I believe it wasn't good, but I do think that she's exaggerating a lot of it. And I also think she just needs to let it go because, you know, as viewers, we didn't see any of it. So it's hard for us to really follow or like be that involved when we didn't see anything.
I agree with that take. I think she did something, Kathy, which she said she did. She didn't say what. I think Rinna definitely over exaggerated, but that's where I posted about this too. I get confused of what, and a bunch of people said it, but I still don't even know if I really think it's right though, of why Kathy is so mad at Kyle in this situation. I'm not talking about like the lifetime of their sister relationship. In this situation, because Kathy definitely had a meltdown. So I'm like, what does she want Kyle to do? Say she didn't have a meltdown? Like she definitely said shit about Kyle, which she basically admitted. So I'm like, why is she mad at Kyle for not?
I agree. Like she got mad at Kyle when Rinna ordered the tequila and Kyle was like, what do you want me to do? Tell her she can't like drink that drink. Like,
yeah, I agreed with that. But I know I love Kyle forever. And she's been one of my favorites for a very long time. And I know so many people hate her and absolutely disagree with that opinion because I got messages about it all the time. So I don't know if that is skewing their opinion or because I agree with Kyle. I was like, what did you want her to do in that situation?
Yeah. Well, I think the fans are so like obsessed with Kathy that I don't think she could do any wrong. I kind of believe she said that F slur, but I don't think fans really care, honestly. I mean, she was at Mar-a-Lago, fans don't care. But I think if like other housewives that weren't as like did those things, they would be getting dragged all over social media. So
yeah, I think it's Rinna's obsession with trying to make it a thing.
Yeah, agreed.
Is so frustrating, and that none of it was recorded, and it's just a whole bunch of he said, she said.
Yeah.
And because let's just say, I believe Kathy too. And Kathy was like, Rinna, you were agreeing with me. And I was like, 100% Rinna probably did that.
Yeah.
You think Rinna sat there silently?
Yeah, no.
And we know Rinna like backtracks on stuff because like she threw the wine glass at Kim and in Amsterdam. And then the very next day she was like, you know what, Kim, I love you. And then like she then a few weeks later was like, Kim, like, I'm going to get you, and was sending her all these like threatening text messages after saying that they were all good and stuff. So like,
yeah.
I'm just like, wow, I used to turn a blind eye to a lot of things that Rinna used to do because I was so obsessed with her. And now I feel like now that she's blocked us, I'm not willing to make any excuses for her.
Well, and Kathy got caught up in a lie too, saying like, oh, that text's not there. And then Rinna like pulls up her phone and Andy's like, oh, it's there. So
yeah, I mean, it was pretty ridiculous. Like, Kathy, you could have just deleted it
I don't know.
You can delete individual messages. Like that was
and we know Rinna was not gonna delete that. Like she was gonna keep
Kathy did not think that was like the big like smoking gun that like she thought it was.
Yeah. So that's why I'm like, they're both guilty. Like obviously Kathy's guilty and obviously Rinna's guilty of like continuing it on and exaggerating things. So I kind of think they're both in the wrong at this point.
Do you think Rinna should come back?
I do.
It's pause time.
I don't know. I think on the terms that like she cools it with social media. But I just think if like, because I know a lot of people want Rinna and Erica gone. I just think if that happened, we would be kind of bored.
I actually wouldn't mind if I'm shocked at this opinion, but I would not mind if Erica stayed and Rinna left. I would like to see Erica on her own. I thought there was genuine fun moments with like her and Sutton and actually being friends. And
I would love to see more of that.
And I'd like to see how does she survive without Rinna.
If I had to pick between the two, I would keep Erica for sure.
Erica at least has a more dynamic story. I know it's the same thing of the Tom stuff, but at least there's a story.
And it's honestly the thing that's the most talked about in the last two seasons. Honestly, if Erica wasn't there, the last two seasons would be very different. So love or hate her, I mean, that's been the main storyline. So
yeah,
I mean, obviously I think we can all agree Diana's probably going to be gone. I think Rinna's up in the air, and maybe I could see Crystal kind of leaving on her own, or like, I don't know.
I don't want her to. I really like Crystal. I know
I like her, and there's times I'm like, this whole dark thing kind of annoyed me, but if she left, I wouldn't be sad. If she stayed, I'd be like, okay, that's fine. Like whatever.
And I feel Sutton and Garcelle, that would be insane if they got rid of
Oh
them.
yeah, they'll be back. I think obviously Kyle, Sutton, Garcelle, Erica. I think all 4 of them will be back for sure.
I like how this will now be Kyle's 13th season. We're like, well, Kyle will be back for sure. Like nobody's even like questioning if Kyle will come back. Like we all just like know she's gonna come back.
Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind.
The only way Kyle will ever leave Beverly Hills is if they get rid of her, but I don't know if they will. Her and Teresa have kind of reached a level with Bravo where like they almost have an understanding and they work with each other, at least from like what I've read about their relationships with the producers, especially Kyle. Kyle doesn't get producer privileges, but like they respect her opinions, and if she's unhappy about something, they're going to take it into account more so than like, you know, somebody who's only been on for 2 seasons, like Drew from Atlanta or you know, Noella from OC. They're not going to get as much pull.
Yeah, I think it's because they are dynamic people who still have stories to tell. They wouldn't have lasted this long if they didn't. You know, it's kind of like Candy in Atlanta. I know she's not an OG, but she basically is. Like,
yeah,
she still gets in the mix and she still is down to be in it after all this time, and that's why they keep her. She doesn't coast. I don't think any of them coast.
I think Candy coasts a little bit. I might disagree with you.
Really?
There,
I feel like she's.
I
still
think
like
Marlo made her work for it this last season, so I can.
This
give her
last
that.
season is probably what I'm is
okay.
most fresh in my
I
mind.
can give her that. Yeah.
Bitch, I'm worldwide.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
But she still shows like so much of her family and like all like these other things that, you know, that's one of the reasons when I say Kyle's one of my favorites is just her openness with her family, her husband, her kids, careers and things. Like that's what I look for when I think of like a whole housewife. And that's why I love her, for those reasons.
And we've seen so much of the family dynamic with her sisters.
Yeah, I wish they would have all 3 of them, but I don't think that'll ever happen.
I would love that. Well, I love Kim, so.
Yeah, you know, it's weird. Kathy hosted that baby shower for Kim's daughter who's pregnant, and Kim and Kyle were not in any photos, and I thought that was super weird.
Yeah, that was weird. I thought maybe just the photos I saw didn't have Kim in them. I didn't realize she just wasn't in any of them. That's crazy.
I looked at literally all of their Instagrams searching for a photo of Kim and did not find any. Like all of the Umansky kids and the Hiltons and Kim's kids who had public profiles, and I did not find a single photo of Kim there. So I don't know if she could have still been there, but I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe.
No, if the mother of the pregnant woman is not in a single photo, that's weird. There's something afoot.
Agree. My prediction. But yeah, the reunion overall, I'm glad it's over. And I really hope they take a break before they start to film again. They really
need a break. Yeah. I'm ready for the off season.
Because they kind of went like right into it from the last 2 years.
They did, yeah.
A lot. I also think this season was so disconjointed with a lot of COVID stuff too.
Yeah, I just don't see the cast changing too much just because the ratings have been so good that I do think it'll be minimal changes. So, but
Is there anyone you want them to bring back from Beverly Hills?
Not really. Honestly.
I think Eileen would be my only one. I loved her.
Yeah, she can kind of like calm Renna down more in a way.
You need a voice of reason on every show.
Yeah.
I want LVP to come back, especially now that Garcelle's son works for her and now she's got like that connection to the group. I would love to like see that dynamic.
Yeah, I'm not an LVP like obsessive, but I don't hate her. I definitely was like over her towards the end, but I wouldn't be mad to try to give her a comeback. I don't think she'd do it though.
No, I'm good. Her.
I don't think Lisa would come back. The only way she would is if like almost everyone on the cast now was gone.
Yeah.
I do get super annoyed with her on Vanderpump Rules though. Like I cannot tell you how much I despise a single scene that she is in on that show at this point. I don't understand.
So forced.
It's the past 4 years of that show, seasons, whatever. It's so forced. And it's just so stupid.
I miss LVP on the early days of Vanderpump Rules where she actually was like working in the restaurant sometimes.
Yeah. None of them work in the restaurant. Like I understand the show is under your name, but there is no reason for you to be in a single scene, to be hosting. It's just
Exactly.
I'm not a
Yeah.
fan. Every scene she's in, I want to fast forward because I don't care about her.
That's why the show is like so weird now, because none of them work there, and it's just kind of like they're just living their lives now as like adults.
Yeah. It will. I am excited for this coming season though, because like 2 seasons ago was horrible. Last season was okay. And then I think this will hopefully be the resurgence season. Because a
Hopefully.
lot
Yeah.
of things happened of in between that you kind of needed to have happen to still have a storyline.
Yeah, if this one isn't good, I would be like, okay, we need to be done.
I'll watch it forever though. I don't really quit TV shows, so
I don't really either. It takes a lot.
I watch
I'll
Pretty Little
complain.
Liars till the end. So.
Oh my God, no.
Oh wow, that's impressive.
I couldn't do that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
stuck
I
it
had to
out.
stop.
I jumped ship at one point with that show. So now we're going to head out of Beverly Hills and into Utah with our Salt Lake City ladies for episode 5, where Angie Harrington, aka Sarah Paulson, showed up for another episode. She
Yeah, I have to say,
Paulson, right? They're doppelgangers.
Yes.
It's
yeah.
like it's insane. I say this every time we talk about Angie. I'm sorry, Michael, but like they look this. It's Sarah Paulson with blonde hair.
I agree. It was kind of a filler episode. I didn't really
It was,
feel like
yeah,
that much
I didn't
happened.
have that much either. Besides, like, I felt like Angie's coming off as really thirsty. I definitely believe Whitney that maybe I could somewhat see like Heather maybe missed Angie saying that rumor, but I definitely think Angie mentioned that rumor. And now I think she's backtracking, but she's giving me thirsty vibes, especially in the trailer for the next episode where like her husband made like a hate account for like Jen. And then she's like showing up to like Jen's event. It's just giving kind of thirsty friend of that's like trying to get airtime. So
Yeah, I was whatever about her coming back. I think probably the most interesting part was Whitney trying to get like the notary for like leaving the church because anything to do with the Mormon church just like fascinates me. And also then I never have read a housewife book, but I really want to read Heather's book when it comes out.
I read Erica's book, but that was during COVID. So
No judgment. How was it?
it was okay. Yeah.
It probably would be more interesting if she wrote a book now.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Yeah. Because it
yeah.
was more like Tom, I love Tom and like
Yeah.
everything's good and like whatever. But
Yeah.
it was also like after I had just met her too. So I was on the high of that.
I haven't read any housewife books, but I read the Housewives book by Brian Moylan, who actually co-wrote Erica's book with her, and then Not All Diamonds and Rose by Dave Quinn.
I couldn't finish the Brian's book.
Really? Why is that?
I don't know. I just was not into it. I like a lot more like nonfiction books though. So I think that was probably the problem. And then I did do on my TikTok, Teresa's cookbook. So I guess technically I read her cookbook.
Yeah, I love that.
Which I did just order her second cookbook. I'm ready to get back into it.
I was going to say.
Find them because I wanted to order them, but I'm like, I don't even know where you buy it.
Oh my God. The greatest book online. It's called thriftbooks.com and they're used.
Okay.
And it was that book I bought for like $3 and the second book I just bought for like $10.
Oh, nice. Well, I'm a huge Teresa fan, as you know, so I need to.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Go on thriftbooks.com. This is not a sponsored ad. There.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I always check there.
Well, that's you did making everything from Skinny Italian. Like that was one of my favorite TikTok series ever. Like I looked forward to every recipe you made from that cookbook.
I love doing it. I tried to do Cook It, Spill It, Throw It, the Amy.
Oh yeah.
The problem was it wasn't really dinner meals. It was like a lot of like party foods or like things that I don't know. I wasn't really into the recipes for where Teresa's was like, my husband and I ate all of those meals. Like there was not a single meal we didn't eat. And I love them. It was a lot of pasta. What am I going to like complain about having like a lot of pasta dishes? So it was just easier to do. Like I'm not getting paid for this. So I'm not going to just like buy ingredients to like not make the food, you know? And that's how it kind of was with the Amy Phillips one. It was like a lot of things that I just like wouldn't normally eat where Teresa's just like, oh yeah, another pasta dish, another sauce. Great. Like, so
I have the Amy's one as well. And I was like, trying to plan out which ones I wanted to make. And then I never came around to actually making any of them. So.
Yeah, it was also like a lot of like, I'm a pretty good cook. Like I cook all the time. So it's a lot of things that I wouldn't like go to a recipe book for, because it's just stuff I like know how to make.
It's really basic stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I found it to be like really basic stuff, and I was like, no, or like things of ingredients that are weird. Like the great part of Teresa's, it was like nothing was ever strange or weird or like hard to find or expensive.
That's cool that you're saying that, because like literally when she was making that book on the show, she was saying like my ingredients are simple. It's only like a couple things and nothing you can't pronounce. So that's cool.
Cumin.
It
wasn't cumin. I'm hoping this is the cookbook that has cumin in it, because there was no cumin. I like was wanting to say that.
Yeah.
But it wasn't in the cookbook. No, her recipes, so good. Some of them I haven't remade any, but there's definitely been a few that I've thought of redoing. Very good. Like Italian food though is very not basic, but it's just about getting like, I just went to Italy for the first time like 2 months ago, and it's really just about like good ingredients.
Yeah.
And and like, yeah, I'm excited to, it's wintertime. I have more time now. I felt like that's when I did it last time. It was hard to like cook in the summer. We went out a lot more. So
summer's also gonna be fun.
Yeah. So I'm ready. Not fun. Those cooking, when I get the book, we're coming back for my cooking.
Yes.
Perfect.
That sounds really fun. Do we have that much more we want to say about Salt Lake City? I mean, Brooks showed up.
Not really.
Yeah. I mean, Brooks made another appearance. He's back at NYU. So we saw he didn't take another semester off just to be on the show. Yeah.
There really wasn't much. I mean, it was a lot of like the Angie stuff. Yeah, it was pretty filler because we're just kind of off the Arizona trip. So usually like the episode after a trip is pretty like just them kind of getting back to their everyday life.
Yeah, I was thinking about this watching it. Why do you think Erica gets so much more hate than Jen does? I have my thoughts, but I just want to.
That like annoys me because obviously Jen actually like committed the crimes and is like going to jail. But I've seen people that just flat out say they like Jen and they find Jen to be, I guess, more personable or more funny or more enjoyable than Erica. And I really think that's the only reason. So
I agree. I think it's that, like, when I watch her on the show, she's just more human than Erica is. And I also think a big thing is her children really humanize her, where Erica didn't really have anyone around her humanizing her. The only people ever around Erica are paid people.
Yeah, like we had that one scene with her mom, like in season 7, and then we've not seen like any of her family since.
Like we've never seen a cousin.
Yeah,
I don't think she has any siblings. I've never seen.
She had a grandma that she was really close to that died. I know that. Obviously because they went to her gravesite, but yeah.
We've never seen like a friend just like appear or stop by. I also realized the other day Erica's like never hosted a party really. She's like
only that one where they ate the barbecue at the house. Yeah, accused Yolanda of having Munchausen's.
Yeah. So I just feel like she's less human in the way that Jen shows far more emotions of, when she's with her mom and crying and
I see that.
her sons, her husband, like there's a lot more emotion behind it.
As you break it down, honestly, I've been wondering the same thing for so long. Like, why does Erica get it so much harder than Jen? Like, you're so right. We've never just had a friend of Erica's show up. She only has paid friends. Like that's really rare, actually. Huh.
I've thought a lot about it.
It's true. I mean, I still think it's hypocritical, but yeah, it makes sense.
It's like Teresa too. It's like, how could you forgive Teresa for the things? It's because her children humanized her and her parents did. And
there's nothing relatable, unfortunately, about Erica. Like her home, her life, her marriage, her lack of friendships. Nothing about her life is actually relatable. Even like Teresa with her giant ass house, she's still like, her daughters are everything to her. And we don't even get to see her son because he doesn't want to be on the show, which is respectable. But like kids do make the housewives more relatable, even if you're not a parent.
Yeah. Like I have grown to like Jennifer Aydin, but even when I really didn't like her, I loved her scenes with her family and her kids.
Yeah.
And if you are missing that, that's a huge component.
Yeah, you're making
that's a good point.
Great point here, Danielle. You are hitting because you know what? As you said about Jennifer Aydin, I always was like, I always have found her so annoying, but still kind of endearing. And that is why, because like her scenes with the women and like with just Teresa, she can be very like showy, like look at me, look at me. But when she's with her daughters especially, you see this very like tender, loving, I want to do anything to make my daughter's happy side of her. And it's a really sweet side to Jennifer.
And also with her brother and him coming out, like all of that, you know, like it just, you get a multifaceted person and you never get that with Erica. It's just like, oh, here's Mikey. And I'm like, how do you still have the money to pay for him?
Yeah.
Like, that's what I want to know. I'm not trying to sway anyone to feel, I do not want to sway anyone to feel bad for Jen Shaw because
no, I don't.
I don't mean it in that way.
No, you're not at all. But like Michael and I have talked about this before, that there is this weird double standard against Erica, and we just like kind of just weren't really sure why that was. But now that you're saying this and like for X, Y, and Z, like, yeah, it makes more sense. Now
yeah.
I like you know, what was like a human moment for Erica this season though was when they showed her with her therapist, whether that was real or not, at least it was like
something. Yeah.
Something.
I thought her getting wasted was her being relatable.
True.
That was fun. I did enjoy that.
When she has her moments.
When she like held onto Rinna as she like fell down onto the couch, I was like, been there. This was the most relatable though we've ever seen Erica this season, I thought.
Yeah, well, I think not to, even though we're on Salt Lake City, but just made me think of it when Andy said at the reunion that to Erica, it's not landing. That's the thing that she doesn't get is like what she thinks is empathy and sympathy. It's not landing, and we're all screaming it at her like this is the way you're doing this is not working.
Back to Salt Lake City. How crazy if we have two friend doves named Angie.
I know.
That was like when they had Teresa and Teresa on Jersey.
Oh God,
the twins.
Yeah.
Or the two Lisas too. That's why I feel like we call her Rinna.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm sure. Give me more. I'm open. You know, as long as she's not Jenny, it's fine. You know, like let's not have that moment again, and then we'll be okay.
I think it's interesting that Dana is friends with Heather because we know she's going to feud with Jen, and we know that Heather's kind of a Jen follower.
Very loyal.
Yeah.
Too loyal to the point that it makes her look bad.
Yeah, I don't think we've gotten to that point yet, but I feel like that's coming.
We're going to get there. Yeah.
We are going to wrap up this episode with with episode 5 of Salt Lake City. Thank you so much, Danielle, for joining us on episode 90 of The Word on the Street Is. If you could share with our listeners where they can follow you on social media, that would be amazing. It would be it actually would be so chic if you would do that.
The most chic. It's just at Brands by Bravo is my username on Instagram and TikTok.
And what is your podcast
called? It's called The Real Housewives of Rewatch.
Okay.
And we're rewatching New York, and we are on season 2 right now.
So after New York, are you planning on rewatching other cities too?
Hopefully. I mean, God, there's a lot of seasons of New York. So I hope me and my co-host get through them.
Yeah, it is a lot.
13 seasons, and some of them have like 20 episodes. So
it's
a lot. Yeah.
Got your work cut out for you.
Yes. Yeah. I'd probably say if I was to rewatch anything after, I'd love to rewatch Atlanta probably. Yeah, we'll see. But no, it's been fun. Early New York is something else. That's
yeah. I love the first 3.
I also, to admit, I have never rewatched any series ever.
Wow.
Everything I know is just from first time.
Yeah.
Wow, that's impressive.
No,
like,
I've just
my housewife's knowledge is from like an unhealthy amount of rewatching the same scene.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I've never been like here and there, maybe if they're on TV, but I've never gone back and like fully rewatch. So that was kind of why I wanted to do this, because I never did it. So it's and I love watching, like going back, and it's like very introspective of like, oh my God, I can't believe where they ended up and where they started. And you know,
you catch a lot of things. Yeah.
Oh yeah. There's so much foreshadowing that goes on especially with like Mario and Ramona. It's kind of wild watching early.
Yes.
And then that they got divorced. It's like, you would not have predicted that.
No.
And also I see Alex and Simon totally different now. They're just like, what's the word I'm looking for? They're just hipsters who live in Brooklyn. Like that's really all they are.
All right. Well,
we could probably talk another 3 hours. So we
really could.
That is it for this week's episode of The Word on the Street. We will see you next week.